At Amazon, one of the things we try to do is have multiple paths to yes.
You need a belief supplement every day in your life.
There isn't a single entrepreneur I've met that's been successful that can't list a whole bunch of disasters they were involved in.
Rise and shine!
It's espresso time!
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I am not a morning person. I am not. But when you start your day with a powerful routine that inspires you, it will change your life. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee and get ready for a shot of espresso from Jeff Bezos.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
At Amazon, one of the things we try to do is have multiple paths to yes. And so here's a little thought experiment for you. If you are a junior executive at Amazon, and if Amazon did this in the typical kind of corporate hierarchy way, you had an idea. You need to get your boss to greenlight that idea, and then your boss's boss needs to greenlight that idea, and then your boss's boss's boss needs to greenlight that idea. There are probably 5 levels or more before that idea gets the go-ahead. Assume instead that you're an entrepreneur with a startup company idea and you need venture capital. You go to Sand Hill Road and you go to the first venture capitalist and they tell you no. And you go to the second one and they tell you no. Maybe your 20th one tells you yes. You got 19 no's and 1 yes, and you're still good to go. So that venture capital model there's multiple paths to yes. There were 20 people who could give you a yes, and it didn't matter how many gave you a no. So if you want innovative thinking, you have to think about how can we you want a large number of high judgment people empowered to greenlight things. You want multiple paths to yes. And you want a system where, as a junior Air Force officer with a good idea, the first 5 people tell me no, and somehow I can still go pursue that idea. So you got to figure it. That's an organizational challenge that big organizations have to figure out a way to do. And by the way, I get, this happens all the time. I'll say, I don't think that's a good idea, but somebody else will greenlight it. And I'm fine with that because usually the cost of the experiments is pretty small. Things only get expensive when they work, right? Once something works, you're like, whoa, we need to double down on that. And then the spending can get heavy, and then those become big consequential decisions, and that's where the hierarchy and using the judgment of the most senior people to me, this really helps.
Sure.
There is always a way. 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 When you feel stuck, when you feel hopeless, when you feel like the world is against you and you've got big, ambitious goals, remind yourself there is always a way. There is always a way. Entrepreneurship is always about how resourceful you are instead of the lack of resources. This is where people get caught up. You wish you had more money, you wish you had a different education, you wish you had different parents, you wish you lived in a different country. You're so focused on the things that are not going right in your life instead of focusing on what can I do with what I do have. There is always a way. Wife has to go shopping on filming day? Great, I'll film in the car with Timo. Hi Timo, high five. Woo. Good boy. He's so cute. Business shuts down. My dance studio closes down because of COVID. Great, move online. Like, there's always a way. I was telling my friend Mark about how I got the Honest Company for my book, Your One Word. So, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years ago? I don't know how long ago. How long ago? When did Your One come out? Doesn't matter. I wanted to get the Honest Company because they built their business around their one word, honesty. And they were, $100 million plus company, wanted to interview them. There was only one big problem. I didn't know them. I had no connection in. And I wrote in and I didn't hear back. And I really, really wanted the company. So there's always a way. Remind yourself, there's always a way. So what I did was I wrote to TechCrunch. And TechCrunch at the time was the biggest blog / website / news site for the tech industry. And I said, hey, I messaged the managing editor, who I did not know either, right? Just cold out of the blue, said, hey, I'm writing a book and I'd love to do an interview with The Honest Company. And if I did an interview with The Honest Company, would you publish it? And we're gonna talk about these topics. And he said, yes. I just interviewed the managing editor out of the blue and he said, yes. Great. Now I can go back to The Honest Company and say, hey, I want to do an interview with you for my book and for TechCrunch. And that got me in the door, right? And that led to me doing the interview and flying to California and meeting Christopher Gavigan, who's an amazing human, and doing the interview and getting my book done. And so I didn't know The Honest Company. I didn't know TechCrunch. I had no connections in. But you remind yourself, there's always a way. And that's how you do it. You find a way. What can you do with what you do have right now? How can you be a resource? How can you be an asset? How can you help the people around you so that you can move closer to accomplishing your goals as well? So how do you do it? You know, it's easy to say, great, Evan, you don't understand me. I'm stuck in the situation right now. How do I get out of it? Everybody's against me. I tried everything. And it's not working. How do I get out of it? So a couple things you need to do. Number one, if you are stuck kind of in the middle of it, if you are stuck feeling overwhelmed, feeling it's not possible, feeling just you've tried everything and you're gonna give up, step number one is you have to take a break from where you are right now. Go outside, go for a walk, breathe, meditate. Because when you're in the lowest of the low, me saying be more resourceful, there's always a way, you can't actually hear it. You're not ready for the message yet because you're too low. This is why a lot of us, when we're trying to help other people, the people around us, and telling them, you're gonna make it, you can be great, they can't hear it because they're too low. So you have to get them back to normal state. You have to get yourself back to a normal state. So that comes from some getting outside your environment right now. Go for a walk, get some fresh air, do some breathing, meditate, pray, or whatever you need to do to get back to a normal state. So you're not a depressed human, but you can actually be open and receptive to a message, okay? So that's step number one, if you're in the middle of it. Number two is, you need to be around the things that make you feel like it's possible. Part of the problem is, you're probably the only person that you know who is trying to chase down big, scary, ambitious goals. The people around you aren't doing it. You're the one supporting them, and nobody's supporting you. And so you need to be around more of those people. And if you can't get it, actual physical people in your life, then you get videos. Hey, hello, Espresso, welcome. Good morning, let's do it, right? If these videos do it for you, great. That's why I make these videos every day. That's why I make so many videos on all the channels every day. And if it's me, great, I'm honored and humbled to be a part of your journey. And if it's not me, awesome, somebody else. But read a book, watch videos, listen to podcasts, however you learn best, whatever gets you, even more than the strategies, is the energy. It's the energy transfer. When you're watching a great video, hopefully this one, I'm giving you energy, at least I'm trying to give you the energy that I've got here and pump it into your soul to get you to the point where you can actually go do the scary thing that you know you want to do. So whatever makes you feel that way, you have to be around it every day, because there's too much of status quo in your life. There's too much of mediocrity in your life, and the people around you, just that mindset that, okay, this is the way it is and I can't change it. This is the way it is, this is the hand I was dealt, and so this is how I'm gonna live my life now, right? Like most people are just stuck in that negative, restrictive mindset. And the more that you're around that, that's what you're gonna adopt. It's really hard to fight against it. So you do it by supplementing with all sorts of inspiration, motivation, ideas, energy, right? Look, it's super cloudy here in Toronto. I'll take a vitamin D supplement. I need my vitamin D. You need a belief supplement every day in your life to help you realize your potential, to help you actually come closer to it, to not just know you're capable of more, but actually give you the energy to create the steps to make it happen. So step number one is you have to, again, breathe, go outside, change your environment, get back to a place where you can actually receive a message. 2, every single day, have something, energy, books, resources, podcasts, videos like this that make you feel bold, courageous, and that things are possible. And then 3, remind yourself there's always a way. There's always a way. You haven't even come close. I've tried everything. You haven't even come close to trying everything. How many things have you tried? 20? There's a million things you can do. You have not even come close. And don't use that as a beat yourself down. That's a push forward to say, there's a million more ideas inside me. There's a million more ideas inside me that I can use to accomplish this goal. There is always a way. Remind yourself, make it your mantra, put it on a t-shirt. There is always a way, and you are going to find it.
Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? Put that down in the comments below. When you watch a video and just get inspired, the science says you'll have a 35% chance of following through. But if you get inspired and then create a plan of action for when, how, and where you are going to take action, your chances of following through jump to 91%, Believe Nation. It's not enough to just watch something. We got to create our plan. And when you commit publicly, that number jumps to 95% of you following through. Let's make that happen. Your biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week, put it down in the comments below so I can celebrate with you. Also, if you want to have more self-love, self-confidence, self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action to build that habit, to create that muscle. So I've created a 254 series where every day for 254 days, I will send you a video for free to help you shift your confidence and belief forward. The link to join is in the description below.
If everything has to work in 2 to 3 years, then that limits what you can do. If you absolutely can't tolerate critics, then don't do anything new or interesting. The number one thing that has made us successful by far is obsessive, compulsive focus on the customer.
I think the whole issue of failure, people are so scared of it, but it visits everybody. That's what I tell them. And I teach this stuff. I try and teach it. I say it's going to happen. I guarantee you. And it's going to be miserable when it happens. And even worse if it's your own money, which happens a lot. But at the end of the day, you should know with certainty that everybody around you that's successful has already tasted that sting. There isn't a single entrepreneur I've met that's been successful that can't list a whole bunch of disasters they were involved in.
And is there anything more breathtakingly dull than somebody who was born into a fabulous trust and who never really failed at anything?
Yeah, I mean, I look at it and say, if you're telling me all you've had in your life is success, I know you're lying to me. That's what I know, because it just doesn't work that way. That's just the nature of entrepreneurship.
If you want another amazing Jeff Bezos video, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
If you focus on the controllable inputs to your business instead of the outputs, in the long term, you get better results.
Dream big, act small.